Come on, people, let's get real. There's so many of you out there fussing about this and fussing about that. Tell you something, hate is hate. I don't care who you are, or what color you are, what nationality you are. Hate is hate. You know, I have seen more hate being spurred up over the past few weeks and past few years than I ever have at this time in my life. I tell you what, let's get real, people. We're living in a very populated society. Many people, they think that everybody's out to get them, when in reality, nobody's out to get you. Yes, there are those that just hate you because of the way you look, but that has always been and always will be. And I'm going to take the white population to talk about that. In the white population, there are those that believe that if you're not of a certain type of nationality white, there's just nothing wrong with you. Therefore, nobody likes you. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to like this because I want you to hear everything that I'm saying. I was brought up as a poor white boy in the rural South. Yes, I lived in government buildings, government apartments, government supplements all my life. Now, for the blacks that was around us, the white man said, well, they can't help it because they were born black. That's the way they are. But for a poor white boy, no, he just dumb. He ain't worth our time a day. Do you think that didn't happen? You know how many times I got my ass whooped just because I was a poor little white boy? And then again, I was undersized. By the time I was 8 years old, I barely weighed 40 pounds and I barely was 4 foot tall. Do you know how many people, white people, picked on me because I was undersized? You say, well, that was just bullying. No, they wasn't bullying me, people. They were discriminating against me. Why? Because a poor little white boy like me should have known better. We, I mean, I was just dumb and ignorant, not supposed to know any better. Come on, people. Yeah, there's hate all around of all different kinds in all different colors. Why, I know even in the Jewish society, there is hate that goes on from one Jewish type of person to the next kind, and into the Italian family, Italy. Yes, one Italian family to another. And they bring that over here. We know that as the mafia. One faction hates the other. In the Irish, there are some of those that are just plain hateful. If you're not named Mick, Mac, or O, whatever, if you're not named the right way, there's hate. And then there's Irish and the Scottish. There's hate between the type of Germans and Russians. If you're not a certain type of white person living a certain type of way, then you got lots of different people against you. That's hate. Now, I'm not going to get into the black side because I'm not black. I can't speak for them. You can. There's a lots of people out there that can speak for it. Black Lives Matter? Yes, they matter. Black life problems and troubles? Yes. But do you know that other lives matter and there's other prejudice and hates in the world? Get the world of Islam. I think in Islam there is don't suffer the infidel to live. Just like it is in our religion, don't suffer the witch to live. But who's to say who is what? I mean, real. Let's get real. We're living in a populated society where people are pushed and shoved together of all nationalities, all races, all beliefs into one little city or suburb of some kind, and you expect everything to go smoothly? Our roads are so congested, and there's so many millions of people that travel these cities and suburban roads. You don't think that somebody's going to have a little road rage and get out and want to blast somebody? Why, we've heard about the gangs of Los Angeles that if you're walking down the wrong street and you got the wrong colors on, you could get your ass whooped. And that's just the way it is. People, let's get real. Hate is hate no matter what. And you can't undo with that. Yeah, I'll open my channel up for anybody who wants to join me. Just come on. Come on. But then again, I don't think anybody's got the guts to stand up and say what's really the problem is. The problem isn't political. The problem isn't social. The problem is that we're just crowded. You know, you take a suitcase and you fill it full of frogs, earthworms, or whatever. And within that suitcase, while it's closed up, you don't think that there's going to be some type of disaster, murder, or something going on? Why, I think of it as like the hidden chicken coops and hen houses that raise chicken for us to eat. You get so many chickens in there, and it gets so hot and miserable in there, they'll jump and peck at each and other and kill each and their other. Why, if there wasn't a worker coming through picking out the dead chickens from there and throwing them away and getting rid of them, the ones that's alive there would start eating on the dead chicken. That's just the way it is. They're all the same. They're all the same type of nature, but yet they will get hot, miserable, mean, ornery, and they would jump on each other and kill each other. Turkeys the same way. Pigs the same way. You put too many pigs in a pig pen, and pigs that are raised to be slaughtered, you put too many in there, and they're going to tear at each other. What do you think's going to happen when you take millions of people and you put them in a city, small one? And New York is small, Tokyo is small. Yes, these are small places. Paris is small, London is small. When you put all these people in there from all different walks of life, what do you think's going to happen? There's going to be people getting mad, hurting each other, killing each other, and it's going to happen. No much, no amount of protest is going to change that. It's going to happen, and it's going to get worse. This 2021, people. You can't go on what happened back in 1961, 71, 81, 91, or 2001. You can't go on that. There's more and more people. You get crowded, more crowded. People pushing for this job or that job, having them drive miles to go here, to go shopping, to get something to eat, to get clothes, whatever. Running and all type of other people that's in a rush to go here, to go there. Even the truckers themselves, they're in a rush to get from one place to another. Why, yes, there's going to be people get pissed off on the roads because there's so many people out there. And what do you think's going to happen? And people with guns in America, they just stop, pull out their guns, start shooting. You don't think that over in London, a car ramming another one off the road is the same effect as getting out and shooting at somebody? I know these people who blindly shoot at road rage don't intend to really kill because their rage is there. But nonetheless, they do. And after they do, they run high telling. And I hated that these young kids are getting caught in the middle of all this. But they're going to get caught in it because there's just so much population and it's booming all over the world. You just can't stop it. I mean, you can look at South Africa, Brazil, Argentina, uh, places like Thailand, Philippines, and different places in Seoul, Korea, and Beijing, China. There's so much population, so many factions. You're going to have uprisings no matter what, and you can't stop it. There is no government to stop it. The government can't put it down. It's going to happen. You kill all of them from one faction, another one just going to say, okay, we got room. We can start our own thing now. Come on, let's get real. You're not going to stop anything. You think you're going to stop, but you're not going to stop anything. Come on, chat with me for a little bit. Tell me that I'm not right. Tell me how the population has nothing to do with all this that's going on. When in truth, you come on here and talk to me just because you're trying to insert your own little thing into it. And by you doing that, you getting your own rage up. And again, it's about population. There's so many people on YouTube. Do you want your voice to be heard just like anybody else? Poppycock, come on, people, let's get real. I once had a man said, if I knew where you lived, I'd come down there and blast you full of holes. Why? Because, let's get real, people. I had my opinion. He had his. He didn't like me stating my opinions, and therefore he wanted to put holes in me. That's rage. Internet rage. Does that happen? Oh, yeah. Look at all the bashing between one singer to another, one internet channel to another. I kind of get a laugh. I started watching these reaction videos of people reacting to the old songs and all. And you know how many of those suckers have popped up since the first one started? And they're all the same thing. They want those likes and those thumbs up. Come on, people, let's get real. When is that going to turn into bashing and hating? When is that going to turn into, oh, that person's no good, this person ain't no good, that person's terrible. They're fake reactions here and there, and they're not real about it. Come on, let's get real. It's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to happen. Last summer, I was watching people doing beach walk all across the world. I kind of like that. Get to just walk the beach and see things. And then I started noticing that they were walking in places that was private beaches for people doing their sunbathing, walking around and all together. I didn't need to see that. But yeah, people were watching it. People liked it. I think YouTube and the public kind of got wise to that. Now they don't have it as much. But it started off with just a simple woman walking the same beach each and every day. And I thought it was great. She was out exercising. We get to see the beach and all. Then we get to see all these other people walking. And all of a sudden, we get to see it all together from things from Spain to the French Riviera and all like that. I didn't need to see that. If I wanted to see that, all I have to do is just walk down the streets where I live. There's people in all type of skivvies and skimpies all over. I don't need to see all that. But yet they do it. Why? Because they want to stand out. They want to be different than everybody else because everybody else a certain way. Come on. Everybody's going to do that. And some people that's doing things, get noticed. They're getting noticed by people that shouldn't be, they really don't want watching them. I watched a little 13-year-old girl the other day. I was visiting her mother, and she was there in the living room putting up on all this makeup and everything. And it kind of reminded me of a billboard. Now, I didn't say this to her, but a billboard along a highway gets everybody looking at it. Everybody from all walks of life look at that billboard. And some that the advertiser on that billboard really don't looking at them. And I started thinking that little girl's gonna get all purdied. And some of the people looking at her, she really don't want looking at her, but yet they're going to. And she won't pay any mind or think anything about it because she got all purdied up and jazzied up. That's all that mattered. Well, that's not all that mattered. Let's get real. There's a lot of hate and things going on because this world is overpopulated. Some young guy, some old guy, seeing that young girl dress up like that, they'll have all type of mean, terrible thoughts in their head, and you don't think somebody might not react? Of course they are. Yeah, you can blame the guy because the guy ought to have more control over his life than that. But yet, there are some that's going to react. Well, I've seen where school teachers, janitors, construction workers, teachers, lawyers, even political office people have fallen into looking at these things that they ought not look at. And why? Well, they're out there. Just like the billboard on the sign on the road. Somebody's going to look at it sooner or later. And when they look at it, don't you think that it's always someone that you don't want to see that sign? But yet, I thought it was nice what the little girl did. She was trying to look her best. That's all that mattered. She just wanted approval from her mother that she didn't overdo it. She wanted approval from her father that she looked good. And there I was. She looked at me. I said, "You look real nice." I'm not going to give in to the madhouse, mad thoughts, and all like that. There's going to be so many others to do that. I ain't got to worry about that. But let's get real. In our world of population, there's so many people living in just a small, congested area. And it's not just the cities, it's suburban. And it's not just large cities, it's the small towns. There's so many people in there. Well, the little small town that I grew up in the South there, at the time there was only about 2 or 3 thousand. Now there's something like that, 50,000, 60,000 people in the same area. You don't think that's going to be people bashing and hating and fighting, killing and shooting and things like that going to go on? Uh, it was good back in those days. Your neighbors knew each other, knew how things were going to go on, knew when this person was stepping out of line, and the rest of the community could step in and correct them, put them back on the right way of thinking. But people, times are changing. There's been study and stuff like this where there's too much population, too much growth, and it's going to keep on expanding. Soon they'll be living on the waters like they do over there in the Philippines and in China, Beijing, and places like that where they're living on the water, polluting the water, tearing everything up. But it's going to happen. And when you get down to it and you start thinking, well, it's all about hate. Yes, it is. It's all about hate because most people today hate their lives. Most kids today, they hate what they're going to have to live through. Most kids today see no hope in the world of a good outcome. Most kids today, they don't see how they're going to ever make enough money to feed a family, much less have a wife and child. Most would do all right. But then lots of those most would barely make it in the world. One little jiggle, one way or the other, and they're going to fall through the crack. They're going to get pissed. They're going to get mad. They're going to shoot up each other. Like we've already seen brother against brother, husband against wife, wife against children. We've already seen all this stuff happening. And it's all about there's just too many of us living in such a small place, gathering in one little place. You take a worm that has died on the sidewalk, and within just a little bit, there can be so many ants crawling to that worm to eat on it till it's going to get to be too many. And they will fight among themselves to see who's going to get the best part of that worm to drag back to the hole. But while they're fighting each other, rest workers tearing up that worm and dragging it away. By the time they get through fighting, the job's already over with, and that worm's done been removed. But those few ants that started fighting, they're still fighting. Isn't that what we're doing? Aren't we just the ants fighting over a dead worm on a sidewalk? Come on, people, let's get real. Hate is hate, no matter what. And hate comes in many ways. Doesn't matter about your color, doesn't matter about your nationality, doesn't matter about your sex. Hate is hate. You hate things, they hate things. And sometimes you're going to clash, and sometimes you're going to feel the rage. I remember growing up to listen to many righteous men say, well, if I had a crowbar at that time, I would have bashed him upside the head and set him all straight. They still say that, but too many of them actually do it now. Come on, well, let's get real. I know there ain't gonna be nobody to join me, so I'm gonna end it. So, this is David. I'm gonna end it, and y'all stay real.